Thanks for joining us live with Miami's Community News. And our guest today is the one and only City of South Miami Commissioner Josh Liebman. Welcome and happy holidays to you.
Well, thank you.
And I see you're wearing is that an elf or a Santa outfit there?
Well, I think it's a yarmulke, actually, that doubles as a Santa's hat.
Perfect. You get all the holidays. It's perfect. Right?
Considering we're moving on from Hanukkah into Christmas.
So today, one of the things that we'd like to touch on is the art that you've been getting donated to the City of South Miami. We have some of those pictures. Andres is going to put them up on the board. And I do want to thank our sponsor, OG Paint, for their support. So, why don't you talk a little bit about each piece, if we can?
Oh, absolutely. So this is actually 3.5 meters by 3.5 meters. It's a little over 11 feet tall. This is an Edgar Negrete. This is a significant piece. This was just installed, so we've yet to landscape
and
it.
These are where? What park are these?
These are at Columbia Sculpture Garden at Dante Facel Park, off of 87th Street and Red Road. So that's 8700 57th Avenue.
Okay, and the next one.
And by the way, the donor of that piece is the second or third largest collector of Boteros, Fernando Boteros, which was my ultimate dream when this initiative first started. So he is committed on loan, not to donate because the value ranges from 8 to 10 million, but to loan 2 Boteros to the Sculpture Garden. This is also an Edgar Negrete, the same artist who, again, is a famous Colombian artist who is since deceased. The interesting thing about this piece here is a gallery which has exclusivity to Botero and another artist who's actually, could argue, is the hottest sculptor in the world right now, by the name of Gustavo Velez. This gallery has exclusivity to both Botero and Gustavo Velez. And again, they were so impressed that they also donated a piece.
And in the background there's another piece back there.
That's right.
How far away is that, more or less? How many feet away is that?
It's about 100 feet away.
Oh, no kidding. Okay, so it's all right. Let's see the next.
And
piece.
there you go. There you go. So and that's what's so interesting about art is how subjective it is. And this piece certainly isn't as valuable as the other pieces or as collectible, but this is the favorite of the park, and this is the piece that is the most Instagrammable. And what's interesting about the pattern, what you see is a primary colors, and it's a peace sign, but what it really means is peace in Colombia, and that's the Colombian flag pattern.
And if there was ever a turnaround in the country, it certainly was that in the last 30 years, what occurred.
Yeah, it's interesting. And though Colombia was in a civil war for over 50 years, it certainly aren't the optics, but though Colombia was in a civil war for over 50 years, they had the most stable government and stable economy over that same time period in all of South and Central America. And as a result of the recent peace treaty, the former president, won the Nobel Peace Prize.
Okay, Andres, next one.
And this is stainless steel. If you look at it from a different angle, there's a heart or a freedom flame. This one is adjacent to the playground. This is one of the first 3 that were installed.
And how tall is that, more or less?
Well, you're asking someone who's not very tall, so I don't have a great reference point. Everything's taller than me, but it's probably 8.5 feet.
No kidding. Really?
Oh yeah, easy.
Okay, all right. Next one, Andres.
Plus the base.
Yes.
And this is the piece that's featured at the front of the park, and the artist is Santi Medina, who's a Pinecrest resident, and in addition to being an artist, he's also a physician at Miami Children's Hospital. And what's so interesting about this piece, if I can speak for a little bit about this piece, is the artist is going to do a like piece, the same piece, and we're going to gift it from the City of South Miami to Medellin. As a matter of fact, I'm going there this Monday with the artist, Dr. Santi Medina, to meet with the mayor and his chief of staff to identify a location for that installation. And you can't really see it in this photo, but it's accented in red. So I suggested for the piece that we're going to gift is we accent it in blue, because blue and red are the 2 light colors on both countries' flags. And then what Medellin's going to do in return, they're going to send a sculpture, which will be a gift to the to Columbia Sculpture Garden in the City of South Miami. But what we're going to do when we have 2 like sculptures is we're going to have a live video feed and host simultaneous events. And I happen to think that's the best sister city story in the world.
Let me ask you,
celebrate events.
There are lights. Those are lights that go on at night?
Yes. We started off with 3 sculptures. We have since installed 3 more. I have 2 more on the way for a total of 8. And then plus, of course, the gift from the city of Medellin.
Andres,
But the three
next one.
original ones that were installed have lighting. The second three, including this sculpture here and the two Edgar Negrets we saw previously, do not yet have lighting.
Okay.
This is a Botero, but not a Fernando Botero. This is a Hernan Botero, and it's a really cool piece. So the base forms a triangle, so the base is also a triangle. Naturally, we had to raise this because, in my opinion, this screams "climb me," and it's made of aluminum, so we want to keep kids off of it.
Okay. And I think we have a couple.
That's really
more.
an elegant piece. So this is one of the two that's on the way. This is actually a gift from another collector in Bogota. This one reminds me of a typewriter ribbon, but it's all chrome or nickel, and this will really pop in the park. So I'm looking forward to this.
This looks pretty significant in size.
Yeah, again, I'd probably say this is, based on the window, about 7 feet. And what I'm excited about is we do have the stainless steel piece, but this one is chrome or nickel, so this one will pop even more. And what's so nice about stainless steel and chrome and nickel, similar to the Bean in Chicago, they're interactive because you see your reflection in the sculpture.
All right, and we have another one.
How about that art?
How about that?
Oh, there's another piece that
All
looks
right.
like a
So
a
here
white
we are,
one.
7 years
That's on the
ago.
way.
7 years ago, you decided to run for office.
well 10 years, but who's
Well, 10
counting?
years.
Right.
A long time
And those
ago.
10 years, Michael, have felt like 40 years.
So one of the things which I didn't know about you, right, that you're actually very creative. You were part of the power behind, correct me if I'm wrong, putting a beautiful sign at Donington Park, right? As far as the street signs, changing those to where they're green and it's marked. When you go into a city and you see that, that's sort of like the detail of a home. You look at it, that's really significant. So you put together a team of volunteers that have given you, the city, these pieces of art so people can enjoy that. Well, when did it dawn on you that you could do that? What happened that moment?
So I have a two-part response. One is what's really so significant about the park is that it's the only place in the United States that's devoted to Colombia, which are number one ally in South and Central America. And the other thing is that all of this art is donated. Now the city paid for the installation, but other than that, the city didn't pay for a single sculpture. So absolutely, that's something that's significant, something I'm proud of. Now, the signage is something completely different, and I wouldn't say it's necessarily being creative because I'm creative up here, but not with my hand. That more came from place of branding and marketing. I wanted the city residents to take ownership and be passionate about their city. So I started with the city logo, and then I went to the street signs, and then the park signs, and then the welcome signs.
Okay, so but what occurred for you to ask an artist who creates things like this, would you donate this to our city so people throughout Florida can see this? What was your thinking like?
What were you thinking, Michael, when you asked me to run for office? Right? Honestly,
I don't like this guy. Let's punish him.
That's right. That's right. Good point. But it's just like asking for anything else. Just like I raised money when I ran for office, you have to believe in what you're doing. And we created something really special, and that's why now this is just compounding. We're starting to attract galleries, significant collectors, and artists that want to be a part of this.
When did you realize, oh, it's gaining strength?
Well,
first one, second one, third one. When did you realize that?
Well, when I first, answering this question directly, but when the first three sculptures were installed, I was
Was that at one time?
Yes.
Okay, so you put it three at once.
Right, and if I can back up, what's so amazing about this, and the pushback I had from the commission, is that not only was Little South Miami able to establish a sister city program with Medellin, which is ranked the most innovative city in the world by the Wall Street Journal, the smartest city in the world by Time Magazine, and Medellin was the recipient of Bloomberg's Singular International Environmental Award. But what's so significant is that by creating Columbia Sculpture Garden, that produced our first visit in almost 100 years from a president
that came here
to designate the space. And then at that point, we just had pictures. And like you've always said, Michael, if you build it, they'll come. At that point, it was a dream. But if you go out and you promote your dream, you'll gain support, just like any other initiative when you're in office.
Andres, I think we have one picture on there with Josh. She's actually wearing a coat or a jacket. If it's a suit, I don't know where the other part is. Right?
The pants, I'm sure, didn't fit. So, and that was before the holidays. After the holidays, the jacket won't fit.
There's a picture of Josh with.
It was a tweet that the mayor of Medellin just sent out. But I'm sure you can find it. That's also, or maybe you can send it now. That's also with another new sculpture donation.
It'll come up in a second.
So, following that, we installed those 3 sculptures. And at the time, I thought it was absolutely something significant. Art in Public Place in South Miami, the first place in the U.S. devoted to Colombia. But it wasn't until we installed the second 3 that I realized the first 3 were really just art in public places. Now that there's 6, it's a totally different vibe and energy. Now it feels like a sculpture garden or sculpture park, and there's more on the way.
And you sense that as you were doing. So this is like gathering steam in itself, right? Because people go over there, look at it. So somebody's paying attention and making it better. You really, the commission, and in particular you, have made such an impact to that park. Before it's like, okay, they had things for the kids, and you can play tennis over there. You can sit out in the parking lot and little tiny hills, and well manicured. All right, no question about that. Hats off to Public Works that keeps the people out that mess it up. It's being nice. All right.
Well, that's actually our parks maintenance department and our parks department. We just have a great staff in the city. We have great leadership both in Public Works and in our parks department. The parks maintenance actually falls under our parks department. But like I said, the first thing I did after I was elected was the running path at Dante Facel. That path made from recycled tires, and that's been a big hit. And from there, it went on. It changed everything in that park. And then the other parks. When I ran for office, I said we have the most neglected parks in the county. And now I'll argue that South Miami has the best parks transformation story in the entire county of 34 municipalities in the last 15, 20 years.
Well, one of the things about you as a person, you've recognized your ability to get people from where they are to dream and to change them. And as you're describing the parks, you've literally affected thousands of people in the running program at Footworks, right? And being there and taking people from, I can't walk down the street, to finishing half marathons and full marathons. And certainly I was one of your students, for better or for worse, all right? Now, most people don't know this, but you've completed over 100 marathons.
Over 100 marathons.
I know, that's just incredible.
And not only would people not believe that because it's a significant number, they certainly won't believe it from looking at me if they saw me today. And that's what's so funny about us. So you and I are thinking about what we're going to have for lunch after we finish this power hour.
Power pizza coming up front.
That's right. And we've both completed multiple marathons, as have you.
So your insight into the human psyche is extraordinary. And I've seen you in action with the people that they go out and they're not sure what to do. There's a run walk program. You go a couple times a week and be around a lot of people that have similar things in mind. So as you put together the art there at Dante Facel Park, other people that have similar states of mind are being attracted to this. What's next for
I don't know what's next, but what's interesting is when people ask me how I ran 100 marathons, and you asked me earlier how I was able to get these donations. It's almost simple, right? You can say putting one foot in front of the other, but it really was not quitting, because in life there's good habits and there's bad habits. If I would have had a DNF, which is an acronym for do not finish, if I would have not finished a single marathon, there was no way I would have ever been able to achieve 100 or over 100 marathons. But by knowing that wasn't acceptable, it was obviously a different point in my life. But that's how I was able to power through to 100. And it just all comes from a place of passion.
So when you're on the commission, you've served with a lot of people, all right?
Different Michael, people. The names and faces have changed, but the addresses have remained the same. They all come from the same street, from 2.5 blocks.
That's true,
right?
That's true, folks.
64th Court, which we call Political Row, which, again, we are so excited that the election's moving to November.
So now we're going to see. Right? The people voted on that. Right. That was the people wanted to move it from a February date to a November.
That's going to be great. We're going to have real turnout, and you're going to, hopefully that'll produce a real commission, something that's only 100 years overdue.
Well, it's finally getting done. Speaking of overdue, the city and the county it looks like they're about to start on the redoing the South Miami townhouses. I think that's what it's called, the 6.6
Very exciting
acre.
project.
Tell us about that.
So it's called South Miami Park. It's a very New York or Northeastern name. It's going to be a mixed use project. We're going to replace.
Well, hold on one second. I think we have a picture.
All right.
Over here. All right,
There we go.
there he is. Josh is not the guy on.
I'm not the tall, thin, good-looking guy.
So tell us about
I'm the
this picture.
poorly guy. So on Thanksgiving, as a matter of fact, I met with the mayor and all the ministers.
This is mayor of.
Sorry, the mayor of Medellin, Colombia, to discuss an event we're going to have here in South Miami on April 2nd called Feria Los Flores. And it's part of the sister city relationship and cultural and social exchange. Feria Los Flores is a 10-day event that includes about 140 or 150 events. We're just going to have a single day event, maybe 4 hours. And it's going to essentially be a flower festival and Colombian cultural festival at Columbia Sculpture Garden. I'm inviting all the other cities in Dade County that have sister cities in Colombia. We're going to have Colombian music. We're going to have Colombian art.
Going to be? It's going to be at the park.
Yes, at Columbia Sculpture Garden at Donnie Fussell Park on Saturday, April 2nd. So we're going to have Colombian music, Colombian food, Colombian coffee. We're going to have dancing.
And folks, he's doing this without notes. Or I can promise you.
And
notes.
And we're going to recognize a lot of local electeds. And for example, the chairman of the commission, Pepe Diaz, lived in Medellin. Annette Tadeo, running for governor, is also Colombian. And we're also going to recognize the artists and the donors of a lot of these sculptures. And we're going to unveil new sculptures, the individual signs for the sculptures, and a Columbia Sculpture Garden sign.
So you're one of 5 people.
And by the way, I want to thank, South Miami Hospital, who generously contributed to sponsoring that event.
Thank you, guys. So you're one of 5 people.
Yes.
Right? Mayor, vice mayor, and 3 commissioners.
Well, right now we don't have a vice mayor,
Oh.
but traditionally, yes. But by charter, I say I'm the vice mayor because I'm the highest vote getter in the previous general election as per the charter. But,
And
our city attorney has his own opinions.
Okay, but you're going to be out of office come November, right?
No, Michael, are you that quick to get rid of me?
Not this. You mean it's not
I
this
thought
November?
you were one of my, speaking of 5, one of my supporters I could count on one hand. November 2024.
Folks, got to put up with this guy for another 2 years.
Remember, no quitting here.
All right, that's right. Do not what DNF.
And I've always that's right.
Okay. All right. So back to the 50.
I'll have
50
2 years out of 12 years and 9 months. There was a 9-month extension by moving the election to November. I'll have 2 years with a representative commission. My last 2 years will be at the commission that a November election produces. So I'm really looking forward to that.
All right. So let's continue to talk about what's currently called the South Miami Townhouses.
Yeah, sorry. So that's going to be a mixed use project. You're going to have market rate housing, and you're going to have workforce, and then we're going to have really low income, which replaces only 48 to 50, which replaces what's existing there now. And that's just going to transform the whole area. And, hats off to Urban Related, which is an arm of the Related Group that does affordable. It's just a beautiful, thoughtful design that really it incorporates the community into the project. Now, public spaces, there's going to be retail. It's going to be fantastic for the area.
Currently, there's a 50-some-odd-year-old townhouses owned by the county, right?
Yeah, even older
than that. And the people that are currently living there, what's going to happen to them when the county says, okay, it's time to start?
So again, this is a county project, but also hats off to the county. They're really working in concert with our city, and by law, everyone that currently lives there by law, everyone has to receive a replacement that is equal to or greater than what they currently have. Now, someone may want to go live in another city in Dade County, and they'll have an apartment, again, equal to or greater than provided to them, or they can live somewhere temporarily for 2 years while this project is constructed. And then they're also guaranteed to have a first right of refusal, because we're replacing a like number of units. Again, whether that's, I think there's 50, but only 48 are occupied. One was used as a police substation.
All right, so somebody's that's there, they can go to a county approved place,
Yes.
equal to or better.
And there's a whole
And
relocation
is that like a
committee.
permanent move, or do they still get the
Well, it can
opportunity
be
to come
permanent
back?
or temporary,
Okay,
right? They
okay.
can do it for what I would do. I would go somewhere for 2 years and then come back because this project's going to be significant.
It's really the largest change that's occurred to the city of South Miami. But when you put together the other little pieces that are happening on this side of the South Miami, it's significant for us, for everybody that lives over here. So, how many apartments are going to be in these buildings?
Not sure the exact number, and I'll say even if I'm 1 or 2 off, I never like misquoting anything. But it's 7 stories high. It'll be certainly more difference between density and intensity. It is certainly appropriate for that area. And there's 2 other things I want to say about the project. One is I would always argue on paper that is the best value in all of Dade County, or the most overlooked area. When you consider this area, you have a metro rail, you have City Hall, you are bookended by 2 hospitals and a university. And that area is just screaming to be redeveloped. Who wouldn't want to live in the middle of the University of Miami, Larkin Hospital, South Miami Hospital, next to City Hall, right next to
And the
Metro Rail,
University of Miami
and with a
has-
brand new police station?
Yes.
The other thing I want to say about this project quickly and tie it back into art is I passed an art and public places ordinance, which requires every new project to put I believe it's 1.5%, maybe it's just 1% of the value, or 1.5 of the building costs. And this project will have at least 100 million in building costs. I think it's 1.5%. So they're going to donate. Reason I was hesitating is they're going to donate $1.5 million to the city in art and public places. And of course, the developer behind Urban Related is Jorge Perez, who is a great lover of the arts. And what's so interesting is when I was originally passing this, I had a lot of championing it, a lot of pushback from the commission. And this will be the first project that's impacted by that ordinance. And George Perez couldn't be happier to incorporate art into the project. And because it's such a significant amount of money, it won't be limited to that project. We'll install art or sculptures of the rest of the city. And they've really embraced it.
So we know for the county and throughout the country and Miami-Dade County and for the city of South Miami, housing is right up there of concerns. So in this case, there's 50 apartments, let's say.
That'll be low income.
Yeah, who struggle every day much more than people that have more money. So let's say it's 125 people, maybe they live in those apartments. And all of a sudden,
It's all families.
All families. They're going to be able to go into brand new buildings, right? And
take pride in where they live.
Yes.
And several studies have been done. If you really want to set an example for children and you want children to aspire to do greater in life, it's better if instead of putting families in all low income complex, to put them in a mixed, let's say mixed income complex. So don't forget there's going to be workforce, police, and teachers, and then there's going to be market rate. So here they can aspire and learn from other people.
And right across the street is a city park with a pool.
That's right.
And a field.
And right, basketball courts, indoor gym.
And next to that is
a
charter school, right?
That's correct.
And
Show me Somerset.
If the sun rays are all lined up, there may be a police station like 2 blocks over.
Right. And the and city property, the old inspection station right next to the post office.
So there's no question that government
and Metro Rail.
The governments must set the stage for the future. Right. And that land was owned by the government. They said, we need to create something that's more. And I looked at with the police. When the police station moves over there, that will revolutionize these little kids that have been poor their whole lives, that sometimes don't have the right, not hanging around with the right people. And when they see the police, that they're not bad.
No, of course, especially the South Miami Police. We have absolutely the best police department. I refer to our police as the ambassadors in the city because people don't see the commission every day or interact with the commission. They see the police every day, and I refer to that as touches. So every day, every resident is touched by our police department. Michael, you said it's government's responsibility, but I'll tell you, you said it's government's responsible for these changes. I would argue it's the right people in government because that lot sat vacant for 35 years, and right, champion putting the police station there, raising the inspection station, the design for the new police station, really to activate that area and make use of vacant property, which was ironic because it was in the CRA, which was defined by slum and blight. The city's charged with removing slum and blight, and we were contributing to it. So You can't expect government to do the right thing if you don't elect the right people.
So there were some drawings now for the police station.
Yes,
Those are completely a proposed station.
that's
right?
correct.
Done, been looked at. What is it?
I want our police to have a proper home.
Yeah, and so my brother knows what.
It'll also act as a command center.
Okay,
so
my
we can get
brother
some-
knows what the inside of that holding cell looks like. All right, sorry, Grant, threw you under the bus.
We're gonna name it after him.
So, but it is a pretty old police station.
Oh, it is, and it's certainly dated, but we're going to reach beyond that. To your point, we're going to make it hopefully emergency command center south. It's right next to Metro Rail, and
speaking of Metro Rail,
emergency operations center.
what
sorry,
a great
EOC.
end result of student housing going on top of the Metro Rail. There are kids walking down the street. All right, girls, guys, people with dogs, and it's like, wow, what a difference, right?
You said
it's
it,
really uptown.
Michael. People walking in the street have always what our downtown needs is feet on the street, right? And density will allow for that. Reduce their carbon footprint. People aren't driving, worry about parking. You just walk outside of your residence, and you could support the local businesses, and it creates a vibrant, we can call it a downtown or commercial district.
So we have a couple minutes left.
All right.
So so I'll sort of hurry this along. The city, after many years, decided to put up some buildings on 58th Street, 58th Place, 59th Place, and 64th Street. We did the road there. There's a building over there that has a store in the bottom, apartments on the top. And next door, there's going to be another building. When you drive down the street, you go, this is great. People feel really good about that. And it's how, when we make photographs and images out of little pixels. And all of a sudden, when you do enough pixels in the right place, you have something beautiful. And that's truly what's happening in the city of South Miami. So my hat's off to you for your many years, a decade plus of service, and for providing that light.
Thank you. When you say hats off, obviously I have my hat on today. And I want to say, though some people may be surprised to see a Jew wearing Santa's cap, I have to tell you, Michael, I'm going to make a confession live in the air. Every Jew secretly has Christmas envy.
Josh Liebman, City of South Miami Commissioner.
Thank you, and
a
happy
good friend.
holidays and Happy New Year.
Hey, folks, thanks so much. Have a great day.